Hello, welcome to another session of Some Things to Know About Marriage. Today we want to deal with the subject of communication. Communication is so vital to a good relationship. Your communication will affect the atmosphere, your attitude, your actions. It's important to have a good understanding of communication in a relationship. I want to start by giving a definition of communication. The dictionary says that communication is an exchange of thoughts, messages, or information by writing, signals, or behavior. Another definition says that it is a system of sending and receiving messages. So by definition, communication is more than just one person talking and another person listening. Communication involves two people. It involves giving and receiving information. It's important to know what it is, but it's also important to know what it's for. Communicating so that we can make a good decision. Communication so that we can have an understanding. There's a Bible verse that says, wisdom is the principal thing, but with all your wisdom, get an understanding. So it's important that we understand even if we disagree. I want to give you a couple of tips, if you will, for good communication. And one of the first ones is that to realize that men and women communicate differently. Not right or wrong, just different. Women say men don't listen. Men say women talk too much. And it's not that they talk too much, but women like to give all the information and like to paint a broad picture, if you will. I heard one young lady say it this way, that men communicate in sentences and women communicate in paragraphs. And it's not that men don't listen, we just don't listen estrogenically, if you will. This is a stereotype, but generally men will listen to find out what's wrong and what do you want me to do about it. But it's important to understand that it's just different. Let's give an example. Let's say it's Tuesday and a wife will say to her husband, I'd like for you to fix the handle on the closet door in the guest bedroom. My sister's coming, so if you could have that fixed by Saturday. Husband will say, okay. Now in a man's mind, this conversation is done. Oftentimes a wife will continue to talk and then she'll wonder why he's not listening. And the guy is wondering, okay, why are you still talking about that? Understanding men and women communicate differently. A friend of mine, co-pastor Kimberly Irvin, she was teaching a class I was in, and she said it's important to know how your mate is wired. It's important to understand that men and women communicate, as it relates to communication, are just wired differently. Not right or wrong, just different. And that's important so that we're not constantly trying to fix it. It's not to be fixed. Is to be understood and to be dealt with. So how do you deal with it? Sometimes, fellas, you just listen to the whole thing. And not listen pacifistically, really listen. And sometimes, ladies, if you just give me the point, you just get to it a lot faster. It's a question of compromise. Give and take. Another thing about good communication is that we have to pay attention to what the other person is saying. What they say has value, even if I don't like it, even if I disagree with it, they still have a right to say it. As it relates to good communication, it's important that we sometimes choose our battles. Everything is not a right now thing. Everything is not something that we have to have a major conversation about. You know, sometimes we just have to let some things go. Do you want to be right? Or do you want to be happy? Do you want to win the conversation? Or do you want to watch this movie and go to dinner? We have to learn how to choose our battles. This subject of communication is so vast. As I said, it's inexhaustible. We'll be dealing with it in further lessons. But right now, I hope I've said something that provoked your thinking, something that helped you in some way. I would like to ask you, if you know someone that could use this information, if you would pass it to them. If you know somebody who's recently been married, somebody that's thinking about getting married, if you could pass it to them. If you could repost this on your Facebook page, I'd greatly appreciate it. If you'd like to get in contact with me, my email address is dshig@sbcglobal.net. dshig@sbcglobal.net. Until next time, be blessed. We look to be back with you again as we talk about some things to know about marriage. God bless you.